This is the second in a video demonstration series covering the Creature Shaker project. Within this video, I will be outlining and demonstrating a technique that will be used for creating hollow coils. We will be using this technique to create appendages and attachments for use in the construction of our Creature Shaker. Let's begin. I have laid out my materials in front of me. I have a sharp pottery knife. I have 3 paintbrushes of varying diameters. These will be used as an internal rolling pin to create the hollow coils. I have a small, and I have a medium, and I have a large, as well as some clay to make a few different sizes and shapes of hollow coils. I'm going to start by making a series of blanks. I'm going to make a simple, straightforward coil. I'm going to make a tapered coil, and then I'm going to use my paintbrush to show you how I'm going to transform these solid coils into a hollow coil. The first one I'm going to start with is just a straightforward cylindrical coil. These can be made in varying size and lengths. If they get too long, I would suggest making 2 and joining them together with the slip and score method. A couple tricks for making nice, smooth, even coils is to use your entire hand, from the end of your palm to your fingertips. And I only apply pressure as I roll out, and as I roll back, I'm just guiding the coil back. If it ever gets oblong, what I will do is place the coil tall side up, and I will tap it square. I will do this on both sides, and then I will place it back towards me and use that same rolling method. This usually does the trick for a nice, even, smooth coil. Here's my first blank. I'm going to set that off to the side. My tapered coil will be my next one. I'm going to take a small amount of clay, and this time I'm going to use the side of my hand in a motion like this. What I'm trying to do is make a tapered coil that looks like a cone. So I start back towards me and I keep my hand at an angle, going nice and easy. And I usually make these a little larger than what I will finally need. That way I can remove any clay that I don't need in the end. It's better to have more than not enough. On my left side, I've placed 4 coils. These are the blanks that I will be using to demonstrate the technique. I have 2 coils that are solid, just straightforward. And I have 2 different lengths of tapered coils. I will first demonstrate the smallest coil. Since this is a small coil, I will use a small paintbrush of the appropriate size. I will first start by identifying a spot in the middle and just making a small impression. Now the trick is, with this technique, I need to make sure that my coil is spinning and not my paintbrush. So I'm going to hold the paintbrush firmly and I'm going to spin the clay, and as I rotate this, I want to make sure that I keep this on center. If I do that, if I can keep it nice and easy, as the more I push down on the coil, move it towards my hand, the end of the paintbrush should come out right in the middle. Now this isn't the last step. The last step is to now take the paintbrush, grasp it by both ends, and I'm going to place it down on my canvas to border my work surface. And now I'm going to hold this firmly and roll out forward, applying pressure, pushing down. And what I'm doing is I'm compressing the coil between the work surface and my paintbrush. A few revolutions like this, and I've created a nice hollow coil. These hollow coils are actually stronger than solid coils because it's compressed clay, and not simply just the outside pressed like our regular coils, but the inside and the outside. I'm going to set this aside until it's leather hard, and ready to cut for whatever use I need with my creature shaker. The technique would remain the same for different size coils. The only thing that will change is the diameter of the paintbrush. Again, holding both ends of the paintbrush, applying pressure down away from myself. It is best to make sure that your paintbrush is clean. If it is not, you will find that the clay will stick to it. The next two coils are tapered coils, meaning that one end is smaller than the other end in diameter. I'm going to slightly change the way I hold my paintbrushes. I'm going to start on the large end, again, making a small impression right in the center, taking my paintbrush and pushing through, twisting the coil, making sure it's on center, and as I get to the end, now what's going to change is one end is going to say stationary, which is the smaller end, and my other end will rotate in a half circle, and I will put more pressure down to open this coil up. I start with light pressure at first. This is very soft clay, so it's very responsive, and before you know it, I have a tapered coil. This piece works great for the haunch of an animal, the back hip, the mouth of an alligator. They can work great for necks or other things within even functional pottery. I would do the same thing to the next, and also making sure that I have a nice even surface and that my paintbrush is very clean. And again, holding from one end and keeping that stationary and spinning the opposite end. I'm applying pressure down to open up my tapered coil. And again, once these are done, I will set them off to the side to become leather hard. Now that my coils have reached the leather hard stage, I can do a little bit more work to create customized legs, arms, appendages, and all those attachments that your creature shaker probably requires. In front of me, I have the creature shaker body that I created during an early demonstration. With this body, I'm now able to combine my tapered coils and my hollowed coils together to form some sort of appendage. I'm going to go ahead and create a leg. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take my knife and I'm going to remove some material around this so that it fits tight up against the body. Let me show you. Because this tapered coil will require some material removal, I'm first going to take a pencil and roughly draw out where I want to remove my material. I'm going to start on one end and just make a sweeping line to the other side. This doesn't need to be perfect, as I can change the angle as I test fit it onto my body of my creature shaker. I'm going to take my knife, and when the clay is at the leather hard stage, I can cut this without risking it deforming it. So I remove a little material. Now that I have that piece cut, you can see how well this fits against the side of my creature shaker. I still have a little bit more material to remove, so I'm going to do that at this time. I've done quite a considerable bit of trimming, and now as I fit it against my creature shaker, I have a much nicer joint between the two. This will make a great leg, front or back, and when adding a longer extension piece, possibilities are endless. So, when attaching this, all I would do is take the piece that I've created, the hollow coil, add slip, and gently press it on where I'd like to attach it. I'm not pushing it hard enough to stick right now. All I'm doing is pushing it hard enough that it will leave a small little mark so I know where to add slip to the body of the creature. And I will add slip all the way around then I will score. And attach the piece that I've created. Now remember, when I attach my hollow coil to the body, I also need to push on it and wiggle it back and forth to securely lock it in place. Once that's done, I would probably add a coil around here for a reinforcement, and then I can continue to add on to these. I'm going to set that aside. Let me show you another interesting thing. If I were interested in making a bendable neck, these coils aren't going to bend very well, but what I can do is cut them at an angle and reattach them. These coils can be cut and reassembled to whatever shape or angle you desire. Slipping and scoring would be much the same. Apply slip to both sides. Score both sides, and then join them back together. When this is done at the leather hard stage, I don't risk distorting the pieces. I hope this is a useful technique in the creation of your creature shaker. You may also consider molding the coils during the plastic stage for increased flexibility. When you still have some of these soft coils, you can even start to bend them a little bit. This is a tapered coil that I trimmed some of this edge off and started to bend the neck gently. I would place my finger inside so that it doesn't collapse and slowly bend it. Now before I really use this, I would set it off to the side to get leather hard. I would also push this out a little bit, making it easier to attach to my creature shaker. Something like this could become a neck, another leg, or even a tail. I hope you find this technique useful. There are many different possibilities whether you decide to bend these during their plastic state or during their leather hard state where they are cut and reattached. It's best to make more than you really need. This way, while you're waiting for some to dry, you can start working on other parts. And if for some reason one doesn't work out, you have a spare to replace it with. This concludes the hollow coil demonstration. This is the second in a series of video demonstrations for the Creature Shaker project.